Sometimes HMRC will apply or seek to apply a penalty in your case. In that case, there's a few different things you can do. First of all, look at the arguments that they're using to apply that penalty, trying to consider whether you can argue with any of those. If you can, you might have the grounds to appeal that decision and get rid of that penalty, or you could ask to suspend it so it's not levied, and if you're able to kind of meet certain conditions in the future. What is going to be valuable though is probably getting some external advice so you can determine whether you can apply for this to be suspended or removed. When HMRC are deciding whether or not to give you a penalty, they take a lot of things into account. So they'll look at how you've actually engaged with them during the course of the inquiry. They'll look at how the claim was prepared. They'll look at the errors that cropped up. So it's quite a kind of complex decision that they're coming to when it comes to them judging whether a penalty is appropriate. If HMRC does send you a letter saying that your client's going to get a penalty, there are a few things to do and to consider. The first is to look at the arguments that they're using on which they're basing their opinion that a penalty is appropriate. Sometimes those are valid, other times they're actually quite weak. So it's a good idea to look at the arguments that they're making and determine, can you push back on any of those? If you can, then you might be able to push back on that decision and ask for it to be removed, so appealing it basically, or you could ask for the penalty to be suspended if your client is willing to meet certain criteria that you can agree with HMRC. Penalties are painful and expensive and nobody wants to pay them, so it can be really useful and valuable to get some independent external advice on whether you can push back and defend the client's claim and get the penalty removed or suspended. There's a lot of information on the RD Community's website in the resources section. There's an inquiry guide which is free to download that will give you a lot more detailed information on this topic.